Hello, and welcome to the Knights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is video 41, covering scene 36. Last time, we fought and killed the witch Vienna, who was a member of the Westkind tribe, and she wanted to avenge her people's suffering at the hands of the Glevnir kingdom. Unfortunately, she felt the best way to do this was to take us down, and it didn't work out too well for her. Afterwards, we saw a cutscene in which Ryelma was inspecting the fallen tower, looking for the king's corpse. It seems as though she was expecting it to be there after Aldri had left it behind. However, the corpse wasn't there, and that caused Ryelma to get into a bit of a panic and search the area. She found a bunch of dead Tiamats, so it looks like something went down, and the corpse is still nowhere to be found. Ryelma went ahead and pushed on in search of the corpse, and we're a little bit behind her, now squaring off against some random enemies. Let's kick their asses. Okay, here we are. We have quite a few objects on the field to get key items out of, and of course, as always, we have a few knights to recruit. Hagen, the warrior there in the corner, I go ahead and pull him out, and then put him in the empty spot. He'll be better use there. As for the empty spot then that we just created, I go ahead and throw in Gudrun, one of our lance knights. Let's load up some key items. See, we have a family crest for Hagen, that warrior. And there's a hermit on the field, Sarland, who is missing a bent dagger. Alright, that leaves 2 slots for weapons. Let's load up something. Here's an axe for Hagen. He'll be able to beat on that barrel and that rock from that position with the axe. And then finally, we need a weapon for Gudrun. Alright. Looks like we have a game plan, as always. Deliver key items, then obtain key items, and then finally kill the monsters.
Engage! It's my turn, eh?
Alright, Hagen is now recruited. Sarland is referring to a hermit that we recruited back in the Dotaurus battle. We actually recruited Beatrix. Sounds like there's more to that story, but it was enough to awaken her soul, and now she's recruited as well.
It's my turn, eh? I shall
Alright, as you can see, Hagen's in a pretty good spot there. He's landing some blows on the enemies, but he's also pounding on that barrel and also the rock. Okay, barrel's open. We got the key item out of it.
It's my turn, eh? I shall the enemy's hurt. This is it. It's my turn, eh? I shall the enemy's hurt. This is
Alright, good job, Hagen. He got the key item out of the rock. Let's give Gudrun a chance. But before that, I think I'm going to go ahead and pound on these items some more. Alright, they're off the screen. Good riddance. So Gudrun has a tree to beat up, that dead tree next to her. If you notice, we actually have 4 enemies on the screen with a monster matrix of 5x5, so that's maximum monster density here. Fortunately, they gave us 3 knights to work with, so we have something to fight back with. Okay, we'll just load up some more scrubs and then get back to business. Hagen served his purpose, so I go ahead and pull him out and throw in Hilgard, our permanent duelist. And Sarland I don't really have much use for on this map, so we'll throw in Alonso, our other lance knight. That lance that Gudrun was using, unfortunately, it outlevels Alonso, so he can't wield it. Let's see, there's an NPC on the field. Madra has a torn umbrella for a key item, so let's load that up. And then I leave the extra inventory slot for a weapon for Alonso, since he can't swing that Shangri-La. He's got a neutral base enemy near him, so a lightning weapon will do double damage. Let's load that up. Alright, looks like we have everything in line. And again, it sounds like there's more to that story, but that's all we get to hear. So, Gudrun continuing her campaign against that dead tree. It's at 70% damage, so a few more blows should do it. There's the key item, it popped out. Alright, good job, Gudrun. I'm too slow to block that spider, so he gets his web off. That's fine. Here comes another web, but the ogre wanted to smash the rock, so I abandoned interrupting the web so I can interrupt the ogre instead. If he had smashed the rock, then I would have had to wait for it to respawn before I could get the key item out of it. That skeleton near Gudrun is only down to about 25% health, so she should be able to finish him off with this blow. However, with skeletons, of course, you have to hit them one last time after they're down. Well, I don't have any more time left in this round, so down goes the skeleton, but I don't get the kill for it. We can see his HP is 0, but if you look at the monster matrix, I still only have that first kill I got. However, the skeleton is back in the round again, so let's see what happens. Let's load up another key item, Flint for Morgan. And I go ahead and pull out Gudrun. She's doing a good job, but I'm going to throw in Johan, one of our permanent warriors. I want someone with a little bit more muscle to handle that rock. Of course, without Gudrun on the field, there's no use to have her lance. Alonso, of course, can't wield it, so let's pull it out and give something for Alonso. Or, excuse me, for Johan. And if you look, that skeleton's HP in the little wireframe on the right is 0. So he's wandering around with 0 health right now. Morgan is talking about an NPC we saw earlier. She was in the cemetery mourning someone. Okay, whatever, man. So we have a skeleton wandering around with no HP. He's not regenning either, so he's just, I guess he truly is undead, huh? Let's put him out of his misery. Alright, down goes the skeleton, and of course one last hit to finish him off. Of course we're also hitting that rock at the same time, so this is working out pretty good. Alright, Blobman is down. We have no magic points, so we need to get some gems going. So Hilgard just hit that spider for 200% damage, but he still got over a third of his life. Enemies are certainly getting harder towards the end of the game here. Rock's got 40% damage, so we still have a ways to go on it. It's convenient that there's a couple enemies up by the rock too, so Johann can get them all at once. If you notice, I neglected to load up the final key item during this round. Unfortunately, I can get a little single-minded with these key items. I just focus too much on them. These freaking spiders in their webs. And of course, no more gems, or no more magic points, so we need more gems. Luckily, Hilgard hit the mother load there. Okay, not bad. We made a little progress, and we ended the round with 8 magic points, so we should be able to just unleash hell. %79 damage on the rubble. And here I remember, oh shit, the key items. So Cleo has a large canteen. Alright, we'll hand it over to her. One more kill for Hilgard. Finally, we got the key item, and the flying eyeball guy hit me with his special move, so now my controls are reversed. Left means right, up means down. So it took all my concentration to steer like this. And then finally, effect wore off, thank God. Sounds like Cleo is something of a wanderer. Alright, key item delivered. Unfortunately, I wanted to hold on to that attack until the eyeball guy was more in range, but I was forced to release Johann because the Lamina had sent a heart attack at him. Turned out it didn't matter in the end, it killed the monster anyway. Finally, Alonso gets something to do. Alright, not a bad round. We finally got the last key item, so it's all kills from here on out. So Johann has served his purpose. I go ahead and pull him out and throw Gudrun back in. And since there's no warriors, I might as well pull out his axe and throw on a Lance Knight weapon for Gudrun. One last check for key items, nothing there. So I have an empty spot for my inventory. I can put anything else I want on there. So I throw another lance for Gudrun so she can cover both fire and sanctity attacks. That fire lance actually can be overcharged, so Gudrun will make use of that eventually.
Engage!
There she began overcharging, but I didn't want to commit to it yet, so I go ahead and just let her attack. There again, I was forced to abandon the attack, or the charge I should say. Otherwise, Gudrun would have been hit by that hard attack, and that turns her into a enemy that I have to free by spinning the wheel a couple times. These special moves are becoming more and more common. Alright, finally one of those shitbags is down. Alright, another one. Good job, guys. Down to one ogre in the corner there, but Alonso only has 5 seconds to deal with him. Alright, didn't kill that guy, but we wiped the smirk off his face. Okay, no changes to the plan, just get some kills. We're entering round 7 of 12, so we have plenty of time. There's a damn fucking hound on the field, so I have to be careful not to charge Gudrun too long or he'll pounce on her face.
The enemy's hurt. This is it. For our country.
Alright, a kill for Alonso. Good job. Okay, the hound sees Gudrun. Oh, and then I hold her charged as long as I dare and then let it go. And again, I have to release the attack before it's fully charged just to spare her from getting her face mauled. However, I wait a little too long there and he gets her. So sorry about that, Gudrun. She got chomped a few times. Okay, Hilgard brings down that ghost. Let's kill that fucking mud. There we go. Too bad for him, he committed to an attack, so I was safe to charge all the way up and kill him. Alright, we are racking up some kills here. Alonso's lance has actually expired. The duration went away. I used it too many times in battle, but I didn't notice right away, so I didn't replace it. So right now we don't have anything that Alonso can attack with. Okay, one more blow should kill that dragon. There we go. And Skeleton wanders away. I don't want to overcharge Gudrun, so I cancel that. Instead, I charge up Hilgard. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm waiting for him to get in range better. He only will take 31% damage. But if you look at his health bar on the bottom, that's going to easily kill him. So there's not really a reason to wait that long. Finally, down goes the Skeleton. And once again, I don't have enough time to actually finish him off with the last hit. So it's all for nothing anyway. Alright, we've had our fun, but let's wrap this up. We have a couple final monsters on the field, so of course killing them will end the round and win it for us. Of course, Sarlan's the hermit we just recruited. Madra is the other NPC woman on the field. Here she is. So, sounds like those two were pals, huh? So Gudrun has knowledge that, yes, Nordrich was the werewolf. Alonso's speaking about Azan, the leader of the Tiamats. I think he's mentioned that before. I think he's running out of things to say. Same with Hilgard. I think we've seen this before from her. Alright, let's put these losers out of their misery. Alright, Gudrun is overcharged. Let's lay into that Ice Ogre. And there it is. Good job, guys. Here on the inventory screen, we had a little work to do. We have a couple knights that have been languishing a bit just because I've neglected to transsoul to them to level them up. Unfortunately, a knight's level will dictate what weapon they can equip, and I don't want to get to a point where it's going to start hurting us. So I want to be a little proactive and do some transsouls that weren't actually necessary for vitality reasons, but just for the purpose of letting our knights level up. First, when we transsoul, the knight that receives the transsoul will get a boost in their level. They'll level up a bit, but hopefully it'll also increase their level cap so I can dump experience points into them. So first on the list was Dreas, one of our permanent archers. He's currently at level 25, and I wanted him to level up a bit. I went through the roster, and Ferenz was a good match. You may remember way back when we first recruited these guys, they actually died together at the hands of Nordich the werewolf. And it turns out that they have a strong bond, they're buddies, and so this was a good match. And so with that, I went through with it. Ferenz saying don't waste my life, I don't think that's too much to ask. And then Darius accepting it with his max level being expanded to 30 now, so I can now level him up to 30. And we can see also from the transsoul, he gained 16.94 vitality, not bad. Chaos Index went down a bit, and that's a little too bad, but I can live with it. His Law Index is looking a little crappy too, so we might need to work on that. Next, I went for Freeber, one of our permanent wizards. He's at level 28, and that has restricted some of the wands he's able to equip, so I wanted to fix that. I went through the roster, and Analot, his daughter, of course he has a strong bond with her, so that was a good match for Transsoul. We can see here he stands to gain a lot of Law Index, which to be honest I don't care that much about. But his Chaos Index will stay put, and his Vitality will go down. That's a little weird. Regardless, I went through with it. Here, Analot is acknowledging, yes, Dad, please find use of my soul. And Freeber accepting the soul. He was at level 28, the Transsoul itself raised him to 30, but his cap has now been raised to 35, so I can actually give him some more experience and level him up even more. So that helps out. As we can see, sure enough, as promised, his Law Index went up 39, that's incredible, that's crazy. Too bad I don't like using wizards in Law phase. However, his Vitality went down 3.17, so he took a kick in the balls with his Vitality. If we look at his Vitality growth chart, then yeah, sure enough, this was predicted. As you can see, as the yellow line, that's his level, as that moves to the right, the Vitality he gains is going to get less and less, and in fact, it's actually hurting him. So he lost 3 Vitality, 3.17 just from that Transsoul. But to make matters worse, I still haven't reached his level cap. He's only at level 30, and I want to pump him up to 35. So I went ahead and dumped in experience points until he reached that level, and as a result, his Vitality is now 42. So he's lost even more Vitality just from the act of leveling up. This isn't very good, this is pretty grim. The only ways to gain Vitality are either through leveling up or Transsoul, and that's not an option for Freeber anymore. There are a few rush count effects that will gain you Vitality, but they're not super practical, and I don't think I'll be using them very much. What this means, of course, is that Freeber's Vitality is only going to wither away, so we're going to have to be careful how we use him. It's going to be a little scary to overcharge him too much, because that takes more Vitality than a regular attack. But if we want him to equip even more weapons, we have no choice, we have to keep leveling him. So, kind of a dire circumstance here, isn't it? Fortunately, we're getting towards the end of the game, so hopefully we can endure. Alright, after handling those two, I moved on. And that brings us to the next stage. So it looks like another fight against some random monsters, a few less this time, but random monsters nonetheless. Let's take a moment to discuss that flashback we saw. Basically, we saw the fall of the Western Tower again, this time from the Westkind's point of view. So, as we can see here, one of them is that a bird up there? And it's going towards the tower, so there's some kind of a giant flying creature going towards the tower. And suddenly, bang, there it goes, it's blown up. You know, of course, the tower's destroyed at that point, and what a horrible moment for the Westkind to see that all their hard work's been absolutely flattened. It's just gone now. We saw this back in, I believe it was scene 18, a cutscene in which the Gleivnir Knights were on the watchtower just wandering around when they noticed, wait, there's a huge bird off in the distance. And then, of course, they saw the tower blow up at that point as well. Then they began shitting themselves, holy shit, the tower's gone. And then they actually saw the flying object again and said, wait a minute, that's a person with wings. So it's an angel. Okay. One thing we do know about the tower is that it was built as an appeal to Asgard, the realm of the gods, and it was taken as an affront to them. So, it looks like an angel has blown up the tower, that's what it looks like. Of course, the Westkin don't seem to know what the hell's going on, neither did the Gleivnir Knights. All they saw was something flying around, and suddenly the tower's gone. So pretty crazy circumstances, huh? As for the present-day cutscenes, we did see Algerie wandering around. She seems to have a limp, doesn't she? She looks like she got a little fucked up. But she's saying she'll get you back no matter what it takes, referring to the king, presumably his corpse. So it appears to me as though she seems to have her mind back. She's no longer under control over Yelma. But to be honest, I'm not sure about that right now. Then later on we saw the tower base. This is where Yelma was looking for the corpse of the king. There's Peach fluttering around doing whatever bird thing she does, eating spiders. Peach does manage to stammer out the word Nordich, so there is still a part of her buried inside. And then very shortly after, we see that the Wisp has wandered up to the same area. So we're in the same neck of the woods as Peach. We're going to fight some random monsters next time, but we do know that Peach is in the area. And with that, the story marches on. So we are in pretty hot pursuit with Yelma. She's not too far ahead of us. Looks like a lot of things are going to come to a head pretty soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.